Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK back at you with another video here for the first ever XFL slate, week one. Super excited about the XFL here. If you guys are new to the channel, my name's DK. I make daily videos talking about NBA DFS as well as NFL DFS and XFL DFS. I'm also running a weekly $20 PayPal giveaway on my channel. How it works, all you have to do is leave a like and a comment in the video. That's one entry in the giveaway. Max one comment though per video. So it started with my Monday NBA video that I uploaded at the beginning of the week. We'll go throughout the rest of this week. I'll end my Monday NBA video at the end of the week. So however many videos I've uploaded for the week, you can enter the giveaway that many times. So if I have 10 videos uploaded for the week, you can enter the giveaway 10 times. And yeah, winner receives $20 PayPal from myself. With that out of the way, let's jump into the video. So super excited to break down the first ever XFL slate. Yeah, let's just jump right. Well, I guess before we get into players and the prices, let's take a look at what Vegas has out right now. So 2-game Saturday, 2-game Sunday. There's only 8 teams in this league. We have the Seattle Dragons and the DC Defenders, 50.5 over under. DC are 8.5 point favorites. We have the LA Wildcats and the Houston Roughnecks, 51 over under. The Roughnecks are 6.5 point favorites. We have the Tampa Bay Vipers, the New York Guardians, 51.5 over under, with the Vipers favored by 3. And then the last game here, St. Louis Battlehawks, Dallas Renegades, 52 over under. Dallas are 9-point favorites. So the over unders looking like this is going to be a pretty high scoring league, just with the new rules, right? The 1, 2, 3-point conversions, the kickoff rules. If you kick out of the bounce, it goes to the 35-yard line. The kickoffs, like you can't move until the guy catches it. There's a lot of new rules here where it's going to favor the offense, and definitely should be some high scoring games. Also, I think it's going to be a more pass heavy league for sure. Again, there's going to be a lot of points scored. Should be more pass heavy. But yeah, that's basically it for these numbers. So let's take a look at players and their prices. Before I start, there's a lot of different ways you can go. There are a lot of like min-price receivers, 3K receivers that are all viable. There's a lot of starting 3K receivers. So what you can do is I'll kind of go over if you guys are playing cash game, I'll go over like my cash game core at the end. But you could realistically leave like 5-6K on the table. And I think you can make a solid lineup because there's so many min-price wide receivers that are in play here. But okay, let's start with quarterback today. And Josh Johnson doesn't look like he's going to be able to go, not listed as a projected starting quarterback. He's dealing with a thigh injury, so we can't pay 10.7 for Josh Johnson. There's about three quarterbacks I have interest in of the 8 available ones, 8 starters. Cardell Jones is one, 10.2. He probably has the biggest arm out of anyone here, anyone in the XFL. He's probably one of the best players here in the XFL. He is 10.2K, but this DC Defenders does have a lot of talent on their roster. Rashad Ross, Eli Rogers. Now, Eli Rogers not listed as starter. Rashad Ross wasn't either. But there was an injury ahead of Ross, which now makes Ross a starter. We'll talk about that a little bit more. But yeah, Cardell Jones is one of the 3 quarterbacks I do have a good amount of interest in. Really, salary isn't a big deal because there's so many min-price receivers or 3K receivers that are very viable. So Cardell, one of my favorite quarterbacks here at 10.2K. McGloin, not for me. Connor Cook, he's not a starter, so don't play him. Landry Jones would be the 4th option if he does play. He's been limited. He's questionable. He is a guy that I would have interest here at 9.2 if he's available to go. We do have Dallas. I believe are the biggest favorites at 9-point favorites. Dallas is a team that I believe they have the best odds to win it all. So they're going to be they're also a pretty talented team. Landry Jones, if he plays, I would have interest in him at 9.2K. Again, obviously former Pittsburgh quarterback. There's a lot of former NFL players in this league. Aaron Murray's viable at 9K, but don't know if I'm going to get to him. Tampa Bay also expected to be a pretty solid team. Let's get to the chalk play here, which is Philip Walker at 7.8. He's going to be the starter here for the Roughnecks. And we know, the Roughnecks are going to be a very up-tempo game. They're going to run, or up-tempo team. They're going to run 4 wide receiver sets a lot of the time. So, and also Philip Walker does have rushing upside too. So he's going to be the chalk, in my opinion, here at 7.8K. I think if I was playing cash games, I know cash games is super risky because there's just so much up in the air right now in this league. We don't know a whole lot. But Philip Walker, I think, is, if I was playing cash games, I think I would play Philip Walker at 7.8K. We know, again, Houston's going to play at a fast pace. So, yeah, I do have a good amount of interest in there in Philip Walker at 7.8K. The other option here, I think, is a little bit contrarian, is Jordan Ta'amu. He is going to be the starter for the Renegades. Former Ole Miss quarterback, also a guy that has some rushing upside. There's not a whole lot of guys that have rushing upside in this league. Ta'amu and Philip Walker, I think, are the guys that have the most. I have a good amount of interest in both those guys. Now, Walker, again, if I was playing cash games, I think I'd probably play him. But Ta'amu is a guy that I do have interest in. I think he's going to be super, super low owned. And St. Louis are also 9-point dogs. So, should be good game script for him. They should be playing from behind. And yeah, I just don't think a lot of people are going to get to him. I think everyone's going to play Walker. I think people are going to play Walker or Cardell Jones. Jordan Ta'amu is a guy I like as a contrarian option. So those are the quarterbacks I really have interest in. Again, it's Cardell at the top. It's Ta'amu as a contrarian option in the mid-tier. It's Philip Walker, I think, is going to be the chalk. I think if we're playing cash games, probably play him. And then Landry Jones is the other guy I have interest in if he plays. So that is something to keep an eye on. Again, former Pittsburgh quarterback there. Let's move on to running back. So this league, again, it's expected to be more of a pass-heavy league. We only have to play one running back on Draftkings. I think the chalk build is just to play one and then play 4 wide receivers. Now, you can get contrarian and play a couple running backs for sure. I think the way I'm going to go about it is play one week 1 and kind of see how they use running backs. But yeah, I think I'm only going to play one in this first week. So let's talk about it, right? Christine Michael is listed at the top at 8.4K. He's probably one of the most talented running backs in this league, former Seattle running back. He's got a good combination of speed and power. I guess the concern here is that St. Louis are 9-point dogs. But Michael is a guy that I think is going to be utilized a lot here. So he is someone I'm considering as one of my running backs for sure. Presley, DC probably has the best running back core. It's going to be a combination of Presley and Pumphrey, looks like, for week 1. Presley is the starter. So 7.9K, I think he is certainly someone that is going to be pretty popular. I do have interest. If you want to save money and spend down a little bit, I don't mind Pumphrey either. I think these guys are going to be maybe a 50-50 timeshare. We'll see. Pumphrey is the better pass-catching back, in my opinion. He's 5.1K. Again, we got full point PPR here. So those are two backs I also have a good amount of interest in. I like Elijah Hood as well, 7.5K. All the news that I've dug into looks like he is going to be a workhorse back here. He is a guy that can catch some balls as well. So 7.5K, I have a good amount of interest in Hood. And then let's see, Kenneth Farrell, I'll probably pass. Seattle is just a team that I'm not super excited about. They are the team that I think is going to play the slowest. And a team, again, they're pretty heavy dogs as well. They're 8.5-point dogs. Not super excited about their offense. So Farrell, former Chargers back. Don't think I get to him there at 7.2K. Cameron Artis-Payne, another guy I have a good amount of interest in, former Carolina Panther. Again, we've seen him, obviously, he's had some decent games in the NFL. I do like him a good amount of this price. I think he's going to be one of the more popular plays. For cash games, I mean, he's one of the top cash game running backs, in my opinion. So, yeah, I do have a good amount of interest in Cameron Artis-Payne, former Carolina Panther running back. They are 9-point favorites, so should be some good game script here. Should be playing from ahead. I think he's a pretty solid play there at 6.8. Also, Lance Dunbar was projected to be the backup. He's a good PPR back. He's not even on the depth chart. So maybe that's more work for Cameron Artis-Payne. I do think Cameron Artis-Payne is going to be more of a workhorse back in this league. Davion Smith, more contrarian option, former Michigan running back. He is going to be the starter. I think he is certainly viable. I don't think a lot of people will get to him. I think a lot of guys are going to go with some of these top guys with like Artis-Payne, Hood, Presley, Michael. I think those guys are going to be pretty chalky. Whereas Davion Smith, kind of in the mid-range, I think gets forgotten about, but I think is a viable option. Let's see. Matt Jones is going to be the backup to Michael there. I think he is. I don't think I get to him. Former Washington Redskins running back. I'll probably pass there. Let's see. Other options. Henderson's going to be the backup of 4.5K, so I don't think I get there. I think I'd only consider starting running backs for now. And then, we'll see how kind of like backups get mixed into it. Let's see. Other options here. Now, Andre Williams is listed as the starting running back for Houston. We know Houston's going to play at a fast pace. Now, Don't know if they're going to run the ball a lot, but he's 3.8K for a starting running back on a team that's going to want to push the pace. We know that. So I think Andre Williams is if you want to spend down at running back, I think he is a viable spend down option here at 3.8K. And if I was going to play 2 running backs in my lineup, it probably would be one of those guys at the top, and then maybe Andre Williams here. Let's see. Other options. Gardner, another guy that is listed as a starting running back, 3.6K. Seattle, though, projected to be, or not projected to be that great of a team. Or they have hold on. They do have him listed ahead of, where is he? Kenneth Farrell. Yeah, the second string running back. Okay, I thought Farrell would be starting, but yeah. Let's see, where is he? Gardner is 3.6K. He's going to be a starter. So he's a viable punt option too. I wouldn't feel great about it. I think I would prefer getting to Williams, who's just on the better offense. And then I think that's really it for running backs. Yeah, I think that basically wraps it up. So yeah, the guys I think are going to be chalky, right? Christine Michael, Presley, Hood, Artis Payne. Those are the known names. I think those guys are going to eat up a lot of ownership. Cameron Artis Payne at 6.8K is probably your cash game back. I also have interest in Hood, though, and these guys at the top. Again, you can save money and get down to like a Daniel Pumphrey, who's going to be the backup. I think gets incorporated a lot. And then some of those cheaper options, like a guy like Andre Williams at 3.8K. Let's move on to wide receiver. So wide receiver has been tricky, and there's so many different ways you can go here. Again, there's a lot of really, really cheap options here. So Rashad Ross was originally not listed as a starter. He was second string behind DeAndre Hopkins. Now, DeAndre Hopkins got injured. So Rashad Ross is going to be a starter here. He's 10.4K. He's the guy that was one of the better receivers there in the AAF. I think he is certainly viable, and I think he's a little bit more contrarian just because he wasn't listed as a starter. I think guys like McKay and Coates are going to eat up more ownership. But I still like Rashad Ross. You can pair him with Cardell Jones. I think that's definitely doable. I don't think a lot of people are going to do it because he wasn't initially listed as a starter on the depth chart. So, yeah, I think Rashad Ross is still playable there at 10.4. Again, McKay here at 9.9. He's going to be one of the better players in the league for sure. He has huge upside. I think he's going to be pretty popular. I also think Sammy Coates is going to be pretty popular at 9.3K. Houston, we know they're going to play at a really, really fast pace. I think a popular build is to pair him with Phillip Walker there. I think that's going to be really popular. But yeah, those two guys at the top I think are going to eat up most of the ownership as far as expensive wide receivers. With McKay, with Coates. Coates, obviously former NFL receiver. He's got upside. The issue with him is he does drop a lot of balls, but that again, Houston's going to play probably at the fastest pace team in the league. Eli Rogers can't do it. Former Pittsburgh wide receiver. He's behind Rashad Ross. So yeah, can't go there. Jeff Badet at 8.8K, I think Badet. He is definitely viable as well. He's going to be the number 1 receiver here. We know Dallas is projected to be one of the best teams, right? They're 9-point favorites against St. Louis. So another guy that I do like at the top range. Also have a good amount of interest in Nelson Spruce at 8.5, former Colorado receiver. He was also solid there in the AAF. So Nelson Spruce at 8.5K. Whoops. Hold on, some of this stuff popped up there. Yeah, so Nelson Spruce is another guy at 8.5K that I do have interest in. Keenan Reynolds, former Navy quarterback, is actually listed as a starting wide receiver here. He's 8.1K. Now, we know that the two forward pass or the double forward pass rule. You can pass forward as long as it's behind the line of scrimmage and then pass again. So there's going to be some trick plays in here for sure for the XFL. I think Keenan Reynolds is a guy that could pass the ball a few times at least, right? So he is a guy that I do have interest, more of a contrarian GPP option though. But you never know. Maybe he could throw for a touchdown. He could catch one too, right? So there is upside here with Keenan Reynolds, former Navy quarterback, has a lot of upside for GPPs. Guys in this mid-range, I'm not super excited about a lot. Now, I think an interesting contrarian play as well is Nick Truesdale. He is a tight end. Tight ends aren't going to be utilized a whole lot, but he is the one guy I think has upside. He is on the older side. He's 29. He spent some time on the Vikings roster, Tampa Bay as well. He's pretty fast, right? 4.5, 40-yard dash, and he is a big guy, right? So He's a guy that can look to in the red zone. I don't think a lot of people are going to play him because tight ends just aren't going to be utilized a whole lot in the league, in my opinion. But he is the one guy I think they are going to want to give the ball to. I think he's going to play a good amount. So I like him as a contrarian play just because not a lot of people are going to play tight ends. This mid-range, I'm not super excited about a lot here. Let's see. Again, Tompkins is out, so Rashad Ross should be the starting receiver there for DC. Jazz Ferguson, another guy's been hyped up a lot, but he's dealing with a hand injury. Looks like he's going to be second string right now, so can't go there unless they move him up in the depth chart. Callaway, former Cleveland Brown receiver, he got injured, I believe, in the IR, right? So don't think he's going to be able to return this season. Khalil Lewis, another pretty popular value play, but I like him a good amount. He's listed as a starter for that Houston, high-paced offense. So, I do like him a good amount there as a cheaper option at 4.1. Flynn Nagel, 3.9K. Dallas, again, expected to be one of the better teams. He's really cheap, so I have a good amount of interest in him as a cheap option. There's a lot of guys now here I'm talking about. So, basically, you can scroll down here. Any of the guys that have this, that paper thing next to them are going to be starters. So, some of these guys are tight ends. So make sure, like Sean Price is a tight end, right? Don't play. I wouldn't play another. The only tight end I would play is Truesdale there. But, like guys like Washington, right? He's 3.7K. He's a starting wide receiver. You have E.J. Bibbs, a tight end, don't go there. Reese Horn, 3.4K, a starting receiver for the Vipers. Vipers are expected to be pretty solid. He's viable, cheap option. Adonis Jennings, starting receiver for the Wildcats, 3.3K. There's a lot of guys. Tolliver, 3.2K. So these are all guys I think you can mix and match, get some value in there. Where is he? Tia Redding, not listed as a starter, but he's getting a lot of hype in New York's training camp or practice, whatever. But don't think I can go there yet just because he's not listed as a starting wide receiver. Let's see. Malachi Dupree, I think, is going to be a pretty popular option. DC, again, you have Cardell Jones as a quarterback. So at 3K, I do like him a good amount as a value play. What else do we have? Smallwood, another guy that I think is, starter alongside Jennings and Spruce. He's min price. I have good amount of interest in him. Let's see. Dan Williams is going to be a starting wide receiver. So there's a lot of these guys. Austin Duke, I believe. Yep, he is also a starting wide receiver. So there are so many of these starting wide receivers in this basically like flat min price range that you can definitely play. And it's doable for sure for tournaments to leave like 4, 5, 6K on the table. So I think that basically wraps it up though for wide receiver. Oh, Freddie Martino as well. He's min price. Dallas expected to be one of the better teams, so I have interest in him. I think that basically does it for wide receiver. In the flex spot, I think the way I'm going to go is play 2 wide receivers. Now, playing 2 or even 3 running backs is going to be very contrarian, so you could always take a shot there. I think the popular build, though, is to play 1 running back, 4 wide receivers. As far as defenses go, I think my favorite right now is probably the Defenders at 4.2K. Seattle projected to be one of the worst teams. You could also look to Dallas. They are, again, 9-point favorites. They're 4.7K. So I think I would go one of those 2 defenses at the top, or just take a shot and save some money with one of these really cheap defenses. But that's the way I would go about it. I think DC Defenders probably going to be the chalk defense. I think that's the defense I feel the most confident in. Okay, I think that is basically it. So let's give you guys my cash game core if I was playing cash games for the XFL. I think Phillip Walker in this fast-paced 4 wide receiver set most of the time Houston offense is going to be really popular. And he's also got rushing upside, so I think he is one of their safer options. I think if I was playing cash games, I would play Phillip Walker quarterback. At the running back situation, it's a little bit tricky. I think I would play one of these top guys, whether it be Artis Payne, Hood, Presley, Michael. You can save money. Go Artis Payne at 6.8K. You could spend it for Christine Michael. The issue is St. Louis projected not to be the best team. Right now, I'm going to go Elijah Hood, but you can really make an argument for any of those guys. Hood is projected to be a workhorse there for LA. And then wide receiver, I think Rashad Ross is going to be a little bit lower owned. I think he's more of a GPP option because he wasn't initially listed as a starting wide receiver, which is a little bit worrisome. But the two spin ups I think are going to be a chalk here are McKay and Coates. So I would probably play both those guys in cash with McKay, with Coates. You have 5.1K remaining. You can take some shots on a lot of those cheap wide receivers, right, that I went over. There's so many starting wide receivers in the min price range, 3K range. So definitely, try to get a couple of those guys in there. Or you can play one of those guys and try to get like another stud. So who would be my favorite value play? Maybe Malachi Dupree for DC with Cardell Jones. You could always pair him up with Cardell Jones. So I think he would probably be my favorite. But there's so many options here that you can take shots on in this like cheap price range. And yeah, I think that basically wraps it up for this video. So yeah, again, XFL Week 1, guys, there is, we do have the depth charts out, but there's still a lot up in the air as far as just players and how it's going to play out, right? I assume it's going to be played at a pretty fast pace. We got some higher over-under games. So, yeah, I'm really excited about this. Again, if I was playing cash games, probably start my lineup with something like this and go from there. So I think that's going to do it for today's video, guys. If you have been enjoying the content, would really appreciate it if you'd like this video and subscribe. Again, if you want to get entered in the giveaway, all you have to do is leave a like and a comment in the video. It's one inch in the giveaway. I will be back for another video to break down Week 2 of XFL. Also, if you guys are interested, I am doing a podcast with my friend Matt. We uploaded that on Wednesday. We kind of talk more of the XFL rules, and he's more of a betting guy, so he'll talk about teams and their spreads. But yeah, I also have that up for Week 2 probably on Wednesday. Podcast, so be on the lookout for that. I'll tweet that out. But thanks again for having to come and check the video. I really do appreciate it. Good luck in Week 1 of the XFL, and I will see you guys later.